Hola clase otra vez. Hoy vamos a hablar sobre direct objects, the personal a and direct object pronouns. So, speaking of direct objects, first of all, what you should know is not all sentences have direct objects, but if you want to find out if there is a direct object in your sentence, ask yourself this question: who or what is being verbed? So first, find your verb and then ask yourself, for example, if I say Dad cuts the grass, what is my verb? Cuts, and then you ask who or what's being cut. If I said Jenny reads books, my verb is reads, so then you would ask yourself who or what is being read, and it's books. So that's what I mean by that question. It will find your direct object. Let's talk about this personal a real quick. When to use it. If a person or a pet is being verbed, like in my examples, cut or read. Of course, I would hope that a person wouldn't be cut, but anyway, if you have a person or pet being verbed, like helped or listened to or something like that, that makes them the direct object. You must use the personal a. So, I would like you to write down these 3 example sentences. I know Patricia. Jim knows Patricia too, and we know the teacher. In each of these sentences, a person is being verbed. What's the verb? Know. So who's being known in the first sentence? Patricia. Who's being known in the second sentence? Patricia again. And we know the teacher. Who's being known in this one? It's the teacher again. So all 3 of these sentences will need the personal a. Where do you put it? You put it in front of the person being known. So again, you have written all of this down, and then I would like you guys to, underneath it, make an attempt to write all of these sentences. I would suggest doing it in pencil so that when we come to class and we compare our sentences, if you made a mistake, you have an easier way of fixing it. Alright, so to find a direct object, ask who or what is being verbed. When do you need a personal a? If a person or a pet is the direct object, you put a in front of the person being verbed. Moving on, let's talk about when we need to use direct object pronouns. Again, yes, you're writing it again. To find the DO, direct object, ask who or what's being verbed. Don't forget that pronouns replace nouns to avoid repetition. In Spanish, your direct object pronoun choices are me, te, lo, la, nos, os, los, or las. So if you want to rewrite a sentence to avoid repetition, like Dad cuts the grass, he cuts the grass every Tuesday, he cuts the grass in the morning on Tuesdays. Eventually I'm going to stop saying he cuts the grass, and I'm going to say he cuts it. So I take out the grass, and I put in the pronoun for it. In English, let's just write down what their equivalents are, and in order to do this we have to think of a sentence that includes a direct object. Can the teacher help blank? In Spanish it would be blank puede ayudar la profesora. So if I had in this sentence right here, if I had me, it'd be can the teacher help me? If I had nos, it's not we. Nos means can the teacher help us? If I had te in that sentence, it would be can the teacher help you? If it was os, can the teacher help you guys? Of course, we'd only use os in Spain. And if I have lo or la, los or las in this question, it'd be can the teacher help him? Can the teacher help her? Both of these could also be can the teacher help it? And you guys also know that you formal lives in this box as well. If I used los or las, it would be can the teacher help them or you guys? So please go ahead and write that down. You may need to press pause because I'm going to move on and press play again when you're ready. So speaking of these direct object pronouns, how do we fit them into a sentence? To replace the direct object with a direct object pronoun, there are steps. Step 1, find the direct object by asking who or what is being verbed. Yes, we're writing that question down again. Hopefully now, because this is the 3rd time, it will be stuck in your head. Select the direct object pronoun that will correctly match to replace the direct object. So if I said the teacher helps us, which pronoun will match and replace the direct object? Nos. If I said can the teacher help it, referring to the dog, I would use lo. Remove the direct object because, again, pronouns replace nouns, so you have to take out the noun before you can replace it. And step 4, place the direct object pronoun in an appropriate spot in relationship to the type of verb being used. Right now you guys might be like, whoa, this information is going way over my head. It's because we haven't practiced it yet. Don't worry, we will get there. Write this down so you have it for reference, and we'll go step by step to put all of this together. So again, if you need to press pause to finish writing this down, press pause and play again when you're ready, and we're going to talk about where are these appropriate spots to place pronouns in relationship to the types of verbs in your sentences. Here we go. Pronoun placement. And when we're speaking of pronouns, we mean object pronouns and reflexive pronouns. And when you guys take down these notes, I need you to skip at the bare minimum 2 lines between each reason. Bare minimum is 2. 3 will make your notes look a little bit nicer, and skipping 4 blank lines will make your notes look perfect. So at the bare minimum, you're skipping 2. At the most, you're skipping 4 lines. So we can fit in examples together later. So pronouns can be placed before a conjugated verb. In order to have a complete sentence, you always have at least one conjugated verb, unless you have a command in it. So you'll always have a conjugated verb, and you'll always be able to put the pronoun before it. Okay, now, I know I'm repeating myself, and some of you will be like, oh my god, why is she repeating herself? But you know your classmates that sit next to you that still don't listen, so here it is one more time. Skip at least 2 blank lines, at most 4, before this next reason to fit in examples. Pronouns can also be placed before a negative command. We haven't talked about commands yet, but I want your pronoun placement notes to be 100% complete, so you guys can always refer to this again when you guys get to commands next trimester. And that's what pronouns can be placed before. But pronouns are sometimes attached at the end of types of verbs. What types of verbs are they attached at the end of? They're attached at the end of infinitives. What are infinitives? You guys know that they end in AR, ER, or IR, and they mean to something in English, and you can attach them at the end. Which is why when you guys learn reflexive verbs, say is attached at the end. Bañarse, dormirse, because you can attach it at the end. They can also be attached at the end of present participles. We just talked about this. What are present participles? They're the other half of the present progressive tense. Conjugate form of star plus the present participle. Take off the AR, add ando. Take off the ER, add endo. You can attach pronouns at the end of present participles. Skipping 2 more lines, because we're skipping 2 lines after each reason. Step 5, pronouns can also be placed at the end of an affirmative command when you tell someone to do something. Again, I know we don't know what commands are yet, but that's where they can be placed in relationship to them. Before a negative command, attached at the end of an affirmative command. Why are these stars here? They're very important because, again, skip at least 2 lines before writing this down so you have room for examples. If you're attaching a pronoun at the end of a present participle or an affirmative command, you must place an accent on the penultimate syllable, not counting the pronoun. What does penultimate mean? Second to last. Penultimate means second to last. Sometimes in Spanish class you learn English too. That is an English word. Penultimate means second to last. And again, we'll do examples together in class to fully go over this information to make sure you guys understand. But now you guys have a jump start and you guys can start studying for your next test, which again is the midterm. So you guys should now have all of this written down, 2 blank lines after each one, at least 4 at the max, to fill in examples later. Thank you so much for taking your direct object pronoun notes, your pronoun placement notes, and personal notes. One more time, what question do you ask to find if your sentence has a direct object, who or what is being verbed? You use the personal When it is a person that is being verbed, you put that just the letter A, before the person being verbed. And here are the steps if you want to use a direct object pronoun to avoid repetition. You take it out, you find it, you take it out, you replace it with a direct object pronoun, and you place it appropriately in relationship to your verb. Hasta luego. Ciao.